Okay, I'm thinking a lot about lazy healing and just how fucking lazy healing needs to be. I think it's actually really important that it needs to be super lazy. I was talking to a friend who has like really intense panic attacks, and we were talking about just like how many of the recommendations are like breathing related. And, they're telling me all about how when they get these panic attacks, their body is like on fire. Like they are like wanting to just explode out of their situation. And just how like breathing slowly is the last thing on somebody's mind when your inner world is on fire. And it infuriates me that we have so much of that kind of advice of like, when you're really struggling, it's time for you to do something. Because it feels like it just keeps us just kind of like perpetually with the to-do list. There's like a to-do list that we always have, and like healing is one of those things. I hate that so much. And mostly as somebody who very much struggles to do something that I have been told to do. Like, yeah, my system does not like to be told what to do. And so when I have something that's like, here's a to-do list, I'm like, I'm over it. But then how do you heal? Then how do you actually heal? And this is where the kinds of things that I've studied feel so friggin' important. When we think about healing the vagus nerve and healing the lymph, these are two systems in our body that kind of like set the inertia in our body. I've been thinking about inertia a lot, about how we can get so, an object in motion stays in motion. And if like we're stuck, how do you get unstuck if you're stuck? If you're going 1,000,000 miles a minute, how do you slow down? Our lymph and our vagus nerve are setting the pace of the inertia in our body. This is how I think about it. And so when we do like little practices to unlock the vagus nerve, to take the dams down in our body so that our lymph flows freely. And what that means about vagus nerve is that like we're taking the pressure off of these like literal nerve, that when there's a bunch of tension, when there's a bunch of compression, that nerve literally is getting pinched. And when things are pinched, they don't get enough oxygen. And when things don't get enough oxygen, they scream at you. And when your body's screaming at you, your brain looks around for the source of the problem. And it never looks inward to say like, oh, my neck is screaming at me. My belly is screaming at me. It looks outward and it says, oh, this person is causing this problem in me. So it's just like, we start looking in the environment, scanning the environment for, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Where is this screaming coming from? And so literally what we're doing with like really beautiful, intentional, gentle vagus nerve practices, lymph practices, is that we're softening the obstructions. We're softening the places that are literally around, that are tightening on the nerve, or that are hard and blocking the lymph from flowing. Because as soon as the electrical current is not getting squished, as soon as there aren't just dams everywhere where all of our inflammation gets stuck, like that is buzzing in our body. That turns into anxiety. The moment that is flowing and clear, we immediately feel better. And that's the kind of stuff that's like eating around the edges of the problem, right? So like when there's a panic attack, when there's like a huge rush of really intense, awful feelings, like the more that we're softening the outside, the more that wave of emotion is something it comes a little slower. It comes just slowly enough that we can be like, oh, whoa, that is coming. Whoa, I feel that in my body. And then all of a sudden we can do deep breathing. Then all of a sudden we can like do something that allows us to like feel the intensity of what we're feeling without just getting like sucker punched with it. And so like this to me is like the laziest healing, and I love it. Because we carry so much trauma. We live in a colonized world that absolutely does not care about our animal bodies, our actual the meat of us. And so we have to contort into it constantly. Like even in the best case scenario, we're contorting to a system, and our body hates contorting. So we carry so much trauma. We're constantly bending into weird shapes to accommodate white supremacy culture. And so when these things have a little bit more flow to them, it becomes a lot easier to actually heal these things, to start to notice what are the things that are actually causing me stress and a little bit more space to do something different. So yeah, this is not stuff that you do forever and ever and ever. This is stuff you do enough to break through the intense stuff, and then to start building a world that we don't have to heal from.